So now my voice is audible, Amma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we are discussing about RF substitution method. In this method, if you see what is the block diagram means, we have the block diagram that first RF source, that means reflex crystal power supply, reflex crystal oscillator, isolator, variable attenuator, this one isolator, reflex crystal oscillator, reflex crystal power source. After that, what we are going to use is frequency meter. So after frequency meter, we are going to place device whose attenuation to be measured. Device whose attenuation to be measured is placed. Next, we have what? Slotted waveguide. To the slotted waveguide, there is a crystal detector is there. Crystal detector. And crystal detector, we should not keep thermistor mode. There is a power meter. And termination is there, match termination is there. This is the diagram. So device whose attenuation to be measured, first we will measure, we will measure the power using the power meter. So we have the power meter. So we will measure the power. So using power meter, we will measure the power P. Is it clear? So first, in the first step, this method is RF substitution method. RF substitution method. So first method we have seen is, what is the first method? Power ratio method. That's already we have seen. Using power ratio method, how to measure the attenuation. Using the formula, attenuation can be measured as 10 log of attenuation A or alpha. In some textbooks, it is mentioned as alpha. A is equal to 10 log of P in by P out. What is P in? How we are going to get P in? P in is measured without connecting device whose attenuation to be measured. Entire setup is as it is. Measure the power in the power meter and calculate the power. Now connect the device whose attenuation to be measured. Calculate the power. Now the ratio of those two powers will give you the attenuation. That method is called power ratio method. Now, but that method is not the accurate method due to non-linearity in powers. You are going to get what? Non-accurate results even in attenuation also. So to get accurate results, we'll go for RF substitution method. In RF substitution method, substitution, the name itself tells something we are going to substitute in this method. So the in power ratio method, whatever diagram 2 we are using, same diagram we are going to use here. So the device whose power to be whose attenuation to be measured is connected and the power is calculated. Let us consider that power is equal to P. So now what you have to do is, in the same circuit, this device whose attenuation to be measured, this device whose attenuation to be measured, device whose attenuation to be measured is replaced is replaced replaced by variable precision variable precision attenuator, variable precision attenuator. You please replace this device whose attenuation to be measured should be replaced. That's why it is called substitution. It should be substituted with what? It should be substituted with variable precision attenuator. Now, you know how much power you should get. You should adjust this variable precision attenuator so that you should get the same power in the power meter. So the reading of the variable precision attenuator is the attenuation of the required thing. Okay, so likewise, we will measure the attenuation using RF substitution method. Do you got the idea how to calculate RF substitution method in you RF substitution method? Here you are using a power meter. In some cases, we can use the voltages. If you are using voltage to measure attenuation, alpha is equal to 20 log of V in by V naught. That is using the first procedure. So in some textbooks, they are written 20 log of V in by V naught. That is for voltages, but don't get confused. We are generally will use powers. Okay, so this is the procedure. So variable precision attenuator is placed instead of device whose attenuation to be measured. Now, how much power output you should get? Already using the first method. First method means using this procedure, you got the power output. Suppose you got the power output should be 1 watt. In case your power output should be 1 watt. Now you vary this variable precision attenuator, vary the knob of the variable precision attenuator so that you'll get the power output is 1 watt. At what position you are getting the variable, at suppose at the variable attenuator, at 20 dB attenuation, you are getting the proper power output of 1 watt means this is the attenuation. So likewise, we are going to calculate the attenuation. So this procedure is called RF substitution method. So these are the two methods used to calculate attenuation. Attenuation measurements can be done using two methods. One is power ratio method, another one is RF substitution method. And next, is it clear, Amma? Any doubts in this? Shall I move to the next one? Sir, no. Shall I move to the next one? Next one is VSWR measurement. So what is VSWR? VSWR is meant for voltage standing wave ratio. So what is voltage standing wave ratio tells us? So for every setup, you can observe there is a match termination is there. If it is not perfectly matched, at the end you can see this is a match termination. If it is not perfectly matched, what happens? Some of the wave is what reflected back. Reflected back means there is a standing wave pattern you can observe. So for this standing wave pattern, you can see the maximum value. This is called V max. This is called V minimum. The ratio of V max by V minimum will give you the ratio of V max by V minimum will give you VSWR, voltage standing wave ratio. So what is this parameter will tell you means how much mismatch is happening between the load and the source will tell you. The VSWR will tell you how much mismatches are happening. So you should avoid those mismatches. So what is the VSWR value? So generally the VSWR value varies from what 1 to infinity, but the ideal value of VSWR should be 1. VSWR should be 1. 1 means it is perfectly matched. There is no reflected wave. Only the wave is propagating in the forward direction. There is no reflected wave. That's what the VSWR is 1 will tell you. So what you in your EMTL course you have studied about what is VSWR, what is the formula VSWR. You might have wrote this formula. VSWR is equal to 1 plus rho by 1 minus rho. What is rho is equal to reflection quotient, which is nothing but ZL minus Z naught by ZL plus Z naught. What is ZL? Load impedance. What is Z naught? Characteristic impedance of the transmission line. So it depends upon this ZL minus Z naught by ZL impedances. So when there is a proper impedance matching, there is no what a reflected wave. So where there is a mismatch in the impedance means definitely there is a reflected wave. So it is going to affect your source also. So you have to avoid those mismatches. So how to calculate the VSWR is most important one. There are two types of VSWRs are there. So VSWR less than 10, we'll follow one method. If VSWR is greater than 10, we'll follow another method. So if VSWR is greater than 10, we'll follow double minima method to calculate double minima double minimum method to calculate VSWR, and low VSWR is calculated using other procedures. So what is this VSWR? What is the VSWR? I told VSWR is nothing but voltage standing wave ratio. It indicates the quality of transmission lines, whether it is completely matched with the load or not. Is there any reflections? If there is a mismatch with the load, what happens? There is a reflected wave is available. So the reflected wave with the incident wave forms a standing wave pattern. So in the standing wave pattern, you can observe the Vmax maximum and the minimum values voltages. So what is the ratio of Vmax by V minimum will give you what? VSWR. In case of any impedance mismatch between the source and the load, the impedance incident wave and the reflected wave both will what was superimposed, and you'll get what? Standing waves. That's what we discussed. So normally VSWR value lies between 1 to infinity, but the ideal value should be proper matching is done means it should be 1. It should be 1. So you should remember this one. So practically how to calculate VSWR? So that's most important. So most of the time this question was given measurement of VSWR, low values of VSWR measurement and high values of VSWR measurements are very, very important. As I mentioned, high values of VSWR is measured using double minima method. Low values of VSWR can be measured using other methods. We will see both the methods in the next class. Anyhow, we are having the 3 to 4 classes there. We will see in 3 to 4 class how to measure the VSWR and power measurements using bolometer and calorimetric methods. How to measure the power also we will see. So we'll meet again at 3 o'clock. So today I'm having, today I'm having the 2 hours. We will meet again at 3 o'clock. Uh, Thank you very much for joining. We will meet again at 3 o'clock.